This is worksheet 8.1. This is videos recorded in 2019, and this is a brand new worksheet for 2019 because in 2018 I noticed there were some common mistakes that students were making, so I created this to try to alleviate that. I'm going to skip to number 3. So we can rearrange this. You do not have to actually write out this step, but I'd encourage you on this example to do it, or on this practice to do it. So this is all multiplication, and I can rearrange all the terms being multiplied. 2 times 5 is the same as 5 times 2, right? We can rearrange the order of multiplication. So now this is all multiplication, so I'm going to put the numbers, the 3 and the 4 out in front. Then I'm going to rewrite the variables after that. So n, and then n times n to the third. This is all multiplication, so I'm putting dots in between to help me remember that. And by the way, this n right here, this variable has an exponent of 1. So on the left side here, I have 3 times 4, which is 12. But then I want to simplify n to the 1 times n to the 3. And in that case, we add the exponents together. Because n to the 1 looks like that. We're multiplying that with n to the 3, which looks like this. So how many n's are we multiplying together? 4, which can be written in exponential form as n to the 4th. Let's try number 5. If I rearrange things, which this might be the last time I rearrange things, I'm just taking those 4 factors, 2 numbers and 2 variables, and rewritten them with the numbers side by side and the variables side by side. So when I look at this, 2 times 6 can be simplified as 12, and m to the third times m to the third, we add the exponents together. There are 6 m's being multiplied together, which means m to the 6th power. So, for example, now I can skip that step of rewriting this if I remember that, oh, when I have these coefficients, these numbers being multiplied out in front together, 5 times 5 is 25, and then I see an a, I have a to the 2 times a to the 3, I add the exponents together, that's a to the 5. So that's how that works. I believe the odd answers show up on the side, so you should do the odds first. You should be checking them as you go. If you're doing them well, then move over to the right side. Here we have some factors that are all getting raised to some power. So we're going to sprinkle that power to the coefficient and to the base and exponent. So this is really the same as 5 to the third times, now when we have x to a power, or any variable to a power, raised to another power, we multiply those variables together. So that's going to be x to the 6th power. We can simplify 5 to the third, which means 5 times 5 times 5. That equals 125, and x to the 6th just comes along. So this is the best answer right here. Let's do some sprinkling over here. I'm going to sprinkle the power of 3 to the 6th, which means 6 to the 3, or the third power. And this b right here has a b to the 1. So I take the exponent of 1 and multiply it with the power of 3, or with 3, and I get b to the third power. Now 6 to the third power means 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216. You can use a calculator to check that. And there we go. Sprinkle the power of 2 to the coefficient and sprinkle it to the exponent there. So this means 6 to the power of 2, which is 36, and then we have x to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2, so I multiply that together, and 2 times 2 is 4, so 6x to the 4th. Now we're starting to put it all together. So if I look at let's say number 22, I'm going to rearrange this. I'm going to put the coefficients, the actual numbers out in front. Then I'm going to write the letters, and I'm going to try to organize them in alphabetical order. So I have an x right there, I wrote that. Then I have a y and a y squared. So I'm going to put the y's together. So multiplied by y, multiplied with y squared. Alright, so I just rearrange stuff, and after some practice, if I don't have to rearrange things all the time, but if it helps you do it, it doesn't take that long to do. But now I can clearly see that to simplify this, 4 times 2 I can rewrite as 8. Now this x cannot get combined with anything because there's no other bases of x. But here, here's a base of y and a base of y. So I can simplify that. Remember, this is y to the 1. So when I have two bases being multiplied together, I add the exponents. So that's the same as y to the third power. Which looks like a fun one. They all look pretty decent. Let's try number 28. Number 28, there's only one coefficient out in front, one number. So I'm going to put that first, and then let's see, u comes first in the alphabet. So I have u squared and u to the 1. And I'm going to actually write the 1 up there. And then v comes next, so I have a v and a v. v to the 1, v to the 1. Make sure you put a tail on the u so you can tell the difference between your u's and your v's. So I just bring that coefficient of 2 down. You can think of this as a 1 out in front. 2 times 1 is 2. And here, when I'm multiplying the same bases together, I add the exponents. So I get u to the third. And here I'm multiplying v's together. So I add the exponents. I get v to the second. All right, let's do a little more sprinkling. Now we have more variables in that sprinkling, if you will. So let's go here. I'm going to sprinkle the power of 2 to the 3, to the x, and to the y. So that's going to equal, well, 3 to the second power is 9. This is really an x to the 1 in the parentheses, but then I multiply the 1 and the 2, and that gives me 1 times 2 is 2, x squared. And then this is a y to the 1, and I multiply the 1 and the 2, so I get y to the 2. Let's do number 40. I'm going to sprinkle the power of 2 into the 4, into the 2, and into the 2. So when I sprinkle a power to a number, it's the same as taking 4 to the power of 2, which is 16. Then when I take a base with a power raised to a power, I multiply those powers together. 2 times 2 is 4. And then y to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2, I multiply those powers together, so you get 4. Oh, I got a lot of 2's on here. That's a flaw. That's going to be trouble. I think it'll get cleaned up here, maybe. No, it does not. That's no good. Shucks. Let's keep rolling. All right, so here we go. Let's try number 42. So we're going to sprinkle. If there's parentheses, you want to start there, just like in our order of operations. It is like the order of operations. We're trying to simplify this, and we use the order of operations to do that. So that power of 2 gets sprinkled to all three things. Now, all three factors. Now, when this number is getting sprinkled, it's actually 4 to the power of 2, which is 16. Now, this is u to the 1, and so we multiply the power of 1 with the power of 2, so we get u to the 2. And this is v to the second. When we take a power to a power, we multiply the powers together, so we get v to the 4. So that's what this simplifies to. That simplifies to that. And then we have these other components, these other factors getting multiplied in right here and right here. So I guess I'll try to rewrite them. U squared v squared. And then u squared v squared. Ooh, that's going to be tight. I guess I can fit it. All right. So now, we could do what we did up on top, where we rearranged everything. However, perhaps we can just realize, all right, so I see that I'm multiplying some numbers together. I have 16 times 3, which is 48. So part of my simplified answer is going to be 48. And now I'm done with these numbers that I have red dots underneath. Then as I look through here, I see that we have some u's. I have u to the second, u to the second, and u to the second. When I multiply the same bases together, I add the exponents together. So that's u to the sixth. And then I notice that I have some v's. So I'm going to put some green dots underneath the v's. I have v to the fourth times v to the second times v to the second. That's v to the eighth. I add the exponents together. And if you look at all those factors up there, they all have a dot underneath them, which means that as long as I acknowledged them and I said I was going to multiply them together, and I did that. So I've taken care of all the factors. If I left one out, if there was an a term up here, I would want to double check that and make sure I have an a in my answer here, but that's not the case. All right, so number 44, let's sprinkle. Wow, we're going to sprinkle to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors, 6 sprinkles. Bum, bum, bum. All right, so let's go through here. This is 4 to the power of 2, which is 16. X to the power of 2, raised to the power of 2, we multiply those exponents together, so that's x to the 4. Same with the y. Y to the power of 2, raised to the power of 2, we multiply those together. I'm going to switch colors. I don't know why here, just to show that now I'm over here. 2 raised to the power of 2 means 2 to the power of 2, which is 4. And then I have x to the 2 raised to the 2. We multiply those exponents together. So 2 times 2 is 4. Same with the y's. 2 times 2 is 4. Now we're not done. Our final answer should never have repeated factors that are numbers, like a 16 and a 4. We got to multiply that together, right? And then also, you should never have repeated variables. Like I see an x right here and an x right here. So we got to put those together. So 16 times 4, we actually multiply that together. Use your calculator if you need to. That's 64, I'm pretty sure. Then here we have x's. So x to the 4th times x to the 4th is x to the 8th. When we multiply the bases together, we add the exponents. And then same here with the y's. Y to the 4 times y to the 4 is y to the 8. All right, last one I'm going to do with you is number 50. So if you see parentheses, sprinkle that power into just what's in the parentheses. So we have 3 to the second, which is 9, m to the power of 2, n to the power of 2. And we have this as well. So now I need to simplify this after I sprinkle or bring that power of 2 in. So I'm going to bring the number out in front. I could think of this as 9 times 1, which is 9. I put an invisible 1 in front of this. So I've taken care of those things, I guess. And now the m's. So when we have the same variables being multiplied together, this is m times m, you add the exponents. So that's m to the 4th, and same with the n's. I have n to the 2nd times n to the 2nd. Add your exponents together, that's n to the 4th.